Why do we put so much of our worth and importance in little things, in worldly things? We go to church on Sunday, and maybe you don't, but if you're anyone of a believer, go to church on Sunday, we get into the Word, we return back to what's important, we feel good, we worship God, we're like, yeah, this is right, this is good. And then we go back out in our lives, and all of our worth and identity and importance is on what's going on here, or on Earth. Um, on Earth, on an alien. Never mind. My point is, why is it so easy to say yes to God on Sunday and you know feel like everything is so little and stupid on Sunday, where it's like this is what really matters, and then we go into society and we feel like, for better or for worse, crap. I'll start this off with a Bible verse. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and money. And I kind of want to take money out of the equation here, because obviously I feel like you can replace money with anything, with fame, with lust, with appearance, with anything like worldly. You can replace that with, and this is obviously when Jesus was preaching to his disciples as well as another audience on the Sermon on the Mount. And he spits a lot of just crazy wisdom. Obviously, he's Jesus, But I want to single this verse out and apply it to kind of how I've been feeling lately, and maybe how you've been feeling. Like I said, these videos are just kind of me ranting, as well as sharing my conclusions and thoughts on um, my interpretations of the Bible. But you can't serve two masters, and in my opinion, when Jesus is saying masters, I mean, he could mean obviously two separate bosses or people, or whatever you want to kind of throw in there. But I see the world and I see Christ, two separate masters. We can't serve both at once. It's not possible. It's not possible. You probably heard this many times, to have one foot on the side of the fence in the world and one foot on the side in Christ. There's a division, there's a divider for a reason. And that's what I've been getting caught up in. And that's maybe what you've been getting caught up in too. It's a very, very common thing. And it's really quite hard to not get caught up in it. And I've been placing my values into the world, and what I am doing in the world. And yeah, it's important, but like, I'm placing my identity and my worth in the world, and I'm essentially serving the world as my master, compared to serving Christ and putting my identity and faith in Christ. And yeah, I know it's kind of a weird kind of assimilation. Oh, I don't know if that's how you said the word, but assimilation. Sorry, I'm not taking this. I'm not pausing the video and restarting. But you can't you can't place all your worth in the world. Well, you can't really place any of your. Oh, yeah, okay. Kind of botching this. I'm really sorry, but my point is, if you're struggling with your worth, with your identity, with just feeling valuable at all, you might have to go back to the basics and say, well, where am I putting my importance in? What what do I value? And I'll give you an example. Like, my performance in sports right now has been pretty low for me, and really I've just been comparing my performance with other people's performances, and then it really took a huge effect on me. In fact, I have a track meet tomorrow, but what I've implemented in my life is not like a carelessness, but more of a I'm here for fun, and I'm doing this for God's glory and not mine. Like I don't need a medal, I don't need to place or to score or to do insane. Like I'd really prefer to, and that's what I strive to do. God says you need to work hard. I work hard in my sport, but I cannot place my worth and value in this sport because it's not healthy, and it's not. Why would I even do that? Because I what I really need to put my value and importance in is in Christ, and so I've taken a different approach to it, and not in the sense where I care less about it, but it's like I'm not going to put all my mental focus on this sport because it's going to fail me. It's going to disappoint me. It's going to say like, yo, it's going to throw a little curveball and say, hey, you're not as good as you think you are, buddy. I got humbled. I got humbled for sure. I don't want to talk about what happened, but I got humbled, and you know, I was realizing I'm placing a heck of a lot of my identity and my worth in this sport if I'm letting it get me down this much. But it's simply I had a really bad performance, and I went home just really frustrated, like right after my event, and um, I didn't talk to anybody. I was kind of being like a little whip. It was a weird crash out, and it was kind of a buildup of a lot of other things that were going on in my life. Um, not only that, of course, but it was like I was a little whip. I just went home and I was home for 10 minutes max because I was like, this is just terrible behavior. I went back, and it was like I never left because I was only home for 10 minutes, but man, dude, I felt so heavy and so down on myself because I placed so much worth into that performance, which in the end, like, doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all compared to the real importance of this life. And I'm competitive by nature. I know that. God's gift to me was sort of a competitive attitude, but it's a blessing and a curse, and it's also something I kind of want to work on. And maybe you can implement this into your life too. Maybe you place too much worth on something that does not deserve the amount of pressure and importance that you're putting on it. And that's why I think this verse applies, is because if you put any amount of, well, I mean, you have to put importance in it. I'm saying if you put any amount of identity and tie your self worth into something, you'll know it when it hurts you, or when you fail, or when you get let down, or you'll know you put too much importance in that and not in Christ, when it's like, dang, this hurts way more than it should. Like, I really should not be feeling this much devastation, if you will. And it's what we tend to do. It's what I've done. And, you put too much value and importance in, and you unintentionally wrap your identity around something you something that's bound to fail you at some point. So it's that's how life is in general. But it's also like, take it from an approach of like, man, I'm doing this for the glory of God. I'm doing this to have fun. I'm doing this to, you know, compete and have fun, of course, but also be around my friends, and just kind of like, I mean, God created a lot of things for, human pleasure, right? I mean, we've obviously twisted a lot of those things and made them negative, but for the most part, He's created a lot of things for us to just have fun in. And sports, I believe, is one of those things. If you take it too seriously, it's going to become a negative thing. And I took it too so seriously, and it really affected me. And this is just one example that I hope you can apply to your life as well. But it's just about who you serve, and what you put your importance in. Um, my strategy from now on is, like I said, to just go have fun, go compete, and whatever happens, like, I'm not gonna tie it to my worth. Yeah, I'm gonna reflect on it and be like, okay, I need to get better in this area. I need to do better in that area, but it's not that big of a deal. In the big, no one really cares. Like, okay, you care, hella, because that's something you've worked hard at, but no one's gonna look at you and say, "Oh, that's the guy who did that last two years ago at a meet and this and that, and that's the guy who just sucks at his event." Like no one does that unless they're like hella insecure themselves. Like no one does that, you know. And I know my friends don't do that, and I know I don't do that to my friends. Like if they have a bad performance, I'm like they're still them. Like it's not. I don't see them differently. You know, and the sucky part is like you're also looking at their view as well. Like you don't look at their view. I don't know, man. It's a lot of complications. But my point is obviously this: like you got to apply the word to your life. And what I took from this verse was that um, don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the sex, the relationships, the drugs. Don't do it for that, man. Don't serve. Put your point importance in the world when Christ asks us to serve Him and just have fun, man. And don't live like a careless life, but also don't live a life where you're stressing. Of course, like the verse of what's it called? Why stress? I don't know. I need to be able to quote it at some point, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's just it's a spiral if you put something if you put so much value into something that doesn't actually matter. You know, um, what I do put so much importance in my life is my relationships with others, with other people, and making sure like I'm a good example, and I try to live out what I learn in this book and what I hear at church, and developing good Bible study plans that will resonate with my friends and maybe some atheist buddies as well, and just trying to be the most Christ-like I can be and most selfless I can be. That's what I put my importance in. That's something I feel like maybe not tying my entire, if I fail, if I stumble, I stumble. But if I put the importance on that, aside from the importance in the world, then, well, I mean, I've done it. I feel like I've done it successfully for maybe short periods of time, and I've seen the difference myself. So, uh, listen, I don't want to drag this video on too long. I appreciate you watching. If you watched all the way to the end, I know I was just kind of rambling. Eventually, I'll script my videos if I have time, but I just kind of like to talk the talk when I figure things out, and when I or not figure things out, but when I make interpretations of the word I'm reading. And right now I'm in Matthew. I'm reading pretty thoroughly through Matthew again, and just trying to take a lot of things in and apply it to my own life. But that's a big one that went light bulb. But thanks again for watching, and God bless.